How you doing, folks? Eric Carlson again here with a little quick video on fiscal responsibility. Again, I'm running for Congress in the 1st Congressional District here in Illinois. This is something that affects all of us and that we all realize in our daily lives that we have to live by. That means you don't spend more than you actually make, more money than you take in. For whatever reason, people at the top cannot seem to do this ever. So I just want to throw up these numbers here just so you get an idea of what's going on. We took in, through taxes and other means, the federal government took in $4.05 trillion in 2021. They spent $6.82 trillion. Now, $1.6 trillion of that was the COVID relief that went out to everyone, supposedly to stimulate the economy that didn't stimulate the economy. The government needs to realize that it just needs to get out of the way and let the economy work, let our system work. It will work itself out. It's basically can fly on autopilot. It doesn't need people in Washington who have never really done anything in their lives or run anything to interfere with this. Out of that $1.6 trillion, $200 billion of it was stolen, lost, because people overseas hacked in, created fake accounts, got checks, got money transferred into bank accounts overseas, these things. $200 billion that this country lost. I know you've heard me say this before. That's just what they lost on this one transaction. How much more do they lose on everything, on their daily business that they go through? We don't have an income problem, a tax problem. What we have is a spending problem, and you hear people say this all the time. We need to get that under control. That is a big job of the Congress, and this is one of the things that I'm going to absolutely just hammer when I get there, is that we need to cut spending. We need to reduce our debt. So we pay, it costs us over $500 billion a year just in servicing our debt that we owe to creditors. Those are foreign creditors and people here in the States, businesses who buy U.S. debt. This is unsustainable. We all know that. Everybody keeps saying it's unsustainable, but nobody ever does anything about it. One of these days, this is going to collapse, and we're all going to be, again, existential crisis, folks. When we get to a point where the entire system will collapse, then you have chaos, anarchy, and everything in your daily life that you're used to goes by the wayside. Your life changes forever, and it doesn't come back. And if you think that's hyperbole, people need to wake up. Oversight. This is what Congress should be doing. Oversight with the waste that we have in this country, including 200. You shouldn't be ready to dole out $1.6 trillion if you don't know how it's going to get there, and you can't guarantee that every dime is going to get there. It was never needed. It was actually never needed. We know that now. If you wouldn't have shut down the economy, you wouldn't have needed to do that, which we wouldn't have the inflation that we have right now. We wouldn't have added that to the debt, and we wouldn't have had that go overseas to people, most of them who hate us. If I sound a little angry on this, it's like there's children up there running this show. Like and a lot of them will come out and they'll tell you, oh yeah, this is the problem and everything. Well, then fix it. If you can't fix it, and the American people need to hold your representatives accountable. You have to watch what they're voting on, and you have to call them. You have to make your voices heard. That's the only way this system works. It's a representative government. They have to listen to you. They are not in charge. You are in charge. So we had a $2.77 trillion shortfall just last year. We spent more than we took in. Again, a good portion of that, but not all of it. We would have been in the hole anyway, even without the COVID. So again, these things here, you need to eliminate some of the agencies that we have. Currently, we have 732 federal agencies. They employ, now this isn't including the military or the post office. The post office is like 569,000 employees. But we have 2.1 million, roughly, civilian employees as of 2021 in the federal government. They average $93,000 a year is what their average pay is for someone there. The average American, the median income here in the United States for a single American working full-time is $56,000 a year. Anybody see an issue with that? These people are also getting huge pensions, and I know government employees, the federal government is the single biggest employer in the United States. So, does anybody see a problem with that? Does anybody think that maybe that could come down a little bit? And especially the number of people. We talk about all the modern technology and the innovations that we have for being more efficient at work and all these things. But why can we never manage to cut federal employees? It just boggles your mind. Because these are basically patronage jobs. Like here in Illinois, you work for the state, you work for the county, you work for the city. It's basically a patronage job. Rather than stick you on welfare, we give you a bigger check and we just take money out of your union dues to support us as crooked Democrat politicians that we have here with the Chicago machine and the Democrat Party here in Illinois. What we need to do at the federal level is we need to cut 5% a year. By that I mean, and we need to do it for 4 years. So we need to cut personnel. Now you can do this two ways. You're going to have people retiring every year, so you just don't hire new people. So you're getting rid of the people at the highest pay grade. You're bringing that down. So okay, and you're not hiring anybody new in there. The new people that you will need to hire down the road as more and more people retire are not going to have these huge bonuses. And I couldn't believe that federal employees get bonuses for doing their job with your tax dollars. But no more of these huge pensions. If you make that much a year, you should be able to put some away in your IRA and do your own investing and not require the American people not only to pay your huge salary and then go and cover your retirement as well, and you're going to draw on Social Security, which is, I get a lot of people contacting me on Social Security. That is behind what we spent last year on what they called income security, which was the COVID basically bailout, the free money they handed out. Social Security is number 2 at 1.17 trillion. Now the money that we take in to cover that with taxes and stuff, there's almost parity there. So why we don't have money and why they're telling us that Social Security is going to run out in 13 years, it shouldn't be. If you weren't wasting money on this other stuff, you wouldn't have that problem. So the biggest thing is oversight. You need to stop this. And I know the military budget, that we have is necessary, but a lot of that gets wasted too. And we need to stop spending all this money. They can't get people to join the military now because of the woke policies. Kids don't want to join, and your vaccine mandates and things like this in the military. Nobody's coming into the military. So what does the military do? They offer all these huge signing bonuses and stuff. You think these guys were going to be corporate CEOs? The money that they're offering these kids, that's your tax dollars. So rather than getting 10 good guys in to fill 10 spots at the old way they used to do it, now we can only afford to get 2 guys because we're offering them all this money up front. You're spending more defense dollars, but you're getting less for it. You need to turn the military into what it was originally designed for, to protect the United States and to deal with any threats from the outside. And you do that by making the military a place where young men and young women who have a sense of adventure, who want to serve their country, who want to be part of something bigger than themselves, they want to go there. Not because you're offering bonuses and, because you're not getting what you're paying for. You're getting less people. You're shelling out more money, but you're getting less people, which means there's less money that you can spend on the weapon systems that you need. All the stuff that we sent to Ukraine, people don't realize. That stuff is so technologically advanced, it doesn't just appear overnight. There's a pipeline. It takes a while to build these things up. It's not like World War II where you can just crank out these basic planes, basic ships. Stuff takes way too long. These rocket launcher systems, the Javelin anti-tank missiles, we've basically taken our stockpile, given it to the Ukrainians. Now, if we need it, if China goes into Taiwan, we're short on all this stuff now. And it takes a while to produce them, and we don't have the manufacturing capability that we used to have. So this stuff just spirals, folks. And it's, when I tell people that there's a matrix and that every problem that we have is interconnected and intertwined with other problems, that nothing, that's what, when people ask me, well, what would you change? What would you do? Well, you got to be a little more specific, because everything is so intermingled, intertwined. You pull one string and the whole ball of yarn starts coming apart. But we need to do this. If we can't cut spending, if we can't get our house in order financially, we're going to fail, because the debt, we're at almost $30 trillion in debt, plus the interest we have to pay on that. We cannot sustain this. Your kids, your grandkids, your great-grandkids will not live in the greatest country in the world. They will not have the freedoms that we enjoy. And I shudder to think of the place that it could go regarding the Chinese, regarding economic collapse here. It's, like I said, it's not hyperbole to say that this election is, you know, you hear people say that this election is the most important election in U.S. history. Well, you're at that point right now, that we are at a point of possible collapse if we don't rectify this. And you have to send people to Washington that know what they're talking about, that know how to do this. It's very simple, folks. This is not rocket science. We say, well, we can't cut the budget, and you know, they say, oh, we're cutting the budget, but what they did was they reduced the increase for the next year. No, you walk in there and say, okay, these 732 federal agencies, you walk in and you say, okay, redundancy, we could probably get rid of about 200 or 300 of them. Give that take the board of education. Take the education, put that back with the states where it should be. Let the states handle their own education. We don't need that entire federal bureaucracy, all the money that goes along with it. Boom, you can save that right off the top. Now, that doesn't mean you spend the money anywhere. You just reduce your overall spending. So you cut this number by the agencies that you cancel here. It's very simple. Again, 5%. To make up that 5%, if you don't have 5% attrition by people retiring every year, then what you do is you get people to head these agencies. They need to be, again, congressional oversight. You get people in there that are going to do the job the way it's supposed to be done, which means we go in and we fire the people that are unproductive. We've all seen government agency people that just sit on their ass and collect a paycheck. You need to have people in there that aren't afraid to go in there, put a boot in people's ass, get those people out of there. 5% a year over 4 years gets you 20%. So it's literally, if we had 100 people in 4 years, we're going to have 80 people. And those 80 people are going to have to do that job. And your personnel and budget, your budget for your office, if it costs you $100 to run this office, guess what? Now this year you're getting 95. Next year you're getting 90. The year after that you're getting 85. The year after that you're getting 80. It's up to you to be a manager, to live within your means. This is what we can afford to give you. You're going to get the job done. If you can't get the job done, I will fire you and get somebody who can do the job. Now, when I was in Ranger Battalion, we were always under strength. Our authorized strength was 555 officers and men. A rifle squad was typically 9 men. 9 men is what it is designed on paper. I was in a weapons squad when I first got there. That's 10 men. When I got there, our 10-man squad, we literally had 6 men. So we had 6 men doing the job of 10. Now, we took all the same equipment that those 10 men would have to carry, the spare barrels, the binoculars, the team, all the equipment for the machine guns. We took with us, with carrying the same weight the 10 men would carry. We did it with 6 men. Because there was never a thought in a Ranger. There was never, oh, well, we'll just leave some stuff behind. We won't take as much ammo. Well, then you're ineffective. You can do without. You just need somebody with the will to tell you that, no, this is what you're getting. Make it happen with what you have. that doesn't happen at the federal level. They all have their hand out, and you see what we get, these deficits. So you need somebody to implement that. Congress has to hold their feet to the fire with the oversight and do their jobs. All this other BS that they're distracting you with, all these social issues, all these things that should be taken care of at the state level, they need to leave that stuff, put it at the state level, the ignorant stuff, let that stuff go, and focus on your job, because we will not survive if we keep going down this road. So again, my name's Eric Carlson. I'm asking people to please support me. Please share these videos, get them out to other people. I'm doing this campaign with no money. I'm showing you how this can be done with no money. I'm doing this with no money and no support on my own. So that's it for now. Eric Carlson for Congress.com, and on Facebook, also on Truth Social. And please visit my YouTube channel, Eric Carlson for Congress on YouTube. That has all my videos showing people exactly where I stand on all the issues. I'm going to keep doing this until I can't do it anymore. All right, thanks.